Well, it's been an intense 5 or 6 hours of negotiations, essentially, and we really have to underline the fact that this was a crisis summit. When you think of the people that were gathered, you've got the head of the firm, as it were. You've got Queen Elizabeth, Prince Charles, Prince William, and Prince Harry, and they had to come from all over the place to get here. And this is her country estate. This isn't like Buckingham Palace. So this is something that was scrambled together that they all had to meet for several hours. And as you said, at the end of that, they released that statement where she says the royal family is extremely supportive of Harry and Meghan's desire to create a new life. What was interesting about the statement as it continues, it says, we would have preferred them to remain full-time working members of the royal family. First of all, statements that come out of not the palace, but the Queen herself are rare. Something that actually suggests feeling is even more rare. So it is with reluctance and a tone of sadness that they're accepting, not just accepting, but supporting Harry and Meghan's decision. But they would have preferred them to remain full working members of the royal family.
Yes, I thought that part of the statement was curious as well. What more do we know about them becoming financially independent? A lot of people have questions about this, specifically, British taxpayers.
This is where it gets complicated because financial independence, let's face it, they're wealthier than most people in Canada and in the United States. They're not going to be struggling. But it costs an awful lot of money to be Harry and Meghan and Archie. It costs a lot of money in terms of travel. It costs a lot of money in terms of security. All of this has been cared for and taken care of by British taxpayers. In the next year or so, and this is where it becomes important, they're going to be undergoing a transitional year. So they'll be spending more time, possibly all their time by the end of it, in Canada and less time here. And over the course of the next few days, as the Queen put it in her statement, there's a lot of work to be done. And you can see that they're probably going to start hammering that out, what they're going to do in terms of security. Because it's not just the fact that, we have Prince Harry, who will remain a member of the royal family, but Archie himself is in lineage. So this is a little member of the royal family himself and will need due protection. Whether or not, but how exactly they're going to be able to become financially independent, there's question marks about that too, because what are they to do? There haven't been any plans that have been revealed about that. As I said, they're not worried about, making ends meet, but they'll want to succeed. And part of their success, they're going to be A-listers right from the get-go, as they are now, will be essentially trading on that name, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Well, that is kind of the royal brand. And that's where they're going to have a sort of relationship where the royal family will have to have a relationship with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex as they go forward and become financially independent. They are going to trade on their brand. It's as simple
and
as
they're not getting stripped of their titles, correct? Because when Princess Diana divorced Prince Charles, she was stripped of her HRH title.
Yes, that hasn't been announced, but the feeling here is, the sense is that there isn't a level of resentment. They're not sort of kicked off the reservation. They still will remain. So those titles will continue as far as we know. I think if they were going to be stripped of their titles, we would have known that. The fact that the information hasn't come out suggests that they won't be.
Well, we certainly hope they find happiness wherever they land. Charlie D'Agata, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.